और वेलकम टू आशीष बायोलॉजी। आशीष बायोलॉजी यूट्यूब चैनल में आप सभी का स्वागत है। और इसी पेंडेमिक के टाइम पे मैं आशा करता हूं कि आप लोग अपना घरों में सुरक्षित होंगे, अपना ख्याल रख रहे होंगे और अपना फैमिली मेम्बर का भी ख्याल रखिए। आज जो हम डिस्कस करने वाले हैं वो है टॉपिक सम कॉमन डिजीजेस इन ह्यूमन, यानी कि ह्यूमन बींग में जो कुछ कॉमन डिजीज होता है, बीमारी होता है, उसके बारे में हम लोग पढ़ेंगे। माई सेल्फ मिस्टर आशीष कुमार दास। I am a MSc Animal Biology and Biotechnology student in University of Hyderabad Biotechnology. Then I qualified NET JRF in the year last year, that is 2020, November 2020 NET exam. I qualified with JRF. So let's start our topic. So first of all, what do you mean by pathogen? So we have to see what do you mean by a pathogen. So pathogen, basically these are the disease causing microorganisms. So these are the disease causing microbes. So the microbes which causes some diseases in human are called as pathogens. So they can be virus, all of you know coronavirus, how deadly virus it is. Then they can be bacteria, they can be protozoa, they can be fungi, they can be prions, that is proteinaceous infectious agents, or they can be viroids. So viroids are of RNAs of low molecular weight. They usually infect plants. Then all the parasites, that is which they live on the host, so they are pathogen as they cause harm to the host. So you can say like lice is a pathogen. We can say it because pathogen is not strictly restricting that they are microorganism. Okay, so usually they are microorganism but not strictly. So lice can be a pathogen. Then Coscuta can also be pathogen. So the pathogen can enter the body by various means. There are number of ways by which the pathogen can enter our body. They will multiply such that it will help to increase their number, and they will interfere with the normal vital function of the body. Like for human being, it will restrict the normal process of digestion, circulation, excretion, etc. So pathogen have to adapt to live within the environment of the host. So host internal environment must be suitable, or the pathogen have to make it suitable for their own survival. So if a pathogen is invading the gut, that is the alimentary canal, it must know certain ways to survive in that hostile environment. That is, this is not like the ideal environment for the host, sorry, the pathogen. So it will be able to resist the low pH of the stomach and the various digestive enzymes. The effect of the various digestive enzyme should be like it should be able to survive within that hostile environment. Now come to the some, we will discuss some bacterial disease, some fungal disease, some protozoan disease. So first bacterial disease, first of all typhoid. So typhoid, first we will see the causative organism, that is the pathogenic bacterium. What is the name of the pathogenic bacterium? This is Salmonella typhi, which causes the typhoid fever in human beings. So Salmonella typhi is the name of the bacteria which causes the typhoid fever in human beings. So these pathogen generally enter the small intestine through food and water. So they enter the small intestine through the food and water. This is important, that's why I've darkened it. Through food, contaminated food and water, they are entering the alimentary canal or small intestine, you can say, to be more specific. And they contaminated food and water, and they will migrate to other organ through the blood. They are migrating to other part through the blood. So sustained high fever, that is high fever 39 to 40 degrees centigrade for a long time, weakness, you will be not able to do your daily work like reading, playing, whatever it may be. So you will feel weak. Then stomach pain, constipation, headache, loss of appetite, all of these are the pathogenic symptoms, or you can say the symptom of the disease, common symptom of the disease. So intestinal perforation means small holes should be created inside the intestine, small holes should be created, and death may be possible in the, means if it will not detected early, it may lead to death. So it is diagnosed by Udall test of blood. So here I have shown you a simple setup how Udall test is performed. So you have to, if you want to get more, you can search it on Google engine. So search engine prints full procedure result, all of this you can get here. So it will be RECULT. Okay, so then uh, here various sites are given in YouTube also, you can watch different video. This is a normal setup for udal test. Then a trivia fact is there, an historical aspect of typhoid. So Mary Mellon was a cook. Okay, so her nickname was Typhoid Mary. So she was a cook by profession. By profession, she was a cook and was typhoid carrier because she was carrying the typhoid disease for generation, like for several years, to spread the typhoid through the food she prepared. So here I have kept a image to show you, so you can see through the nasal discharge or through sweat. So the food is being contaminated by the cook. Unknowingly she is contaminating it, but she don't know that it is spreading the disease to other people, that is to the customer or client, you can say. So they will be affected because the person who is cooking the food itself is affected. Now come to pneumonia. Okay, pneumonia is caused by bacteria. The bacteria name is given Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenzae. These are the two bacteria. They are responsible for the disease Haemophilus influenzae. They infect the alveoli, that is the air sacs of the lungs. Okay, so where the actual diffusion between the gases like carbon dioxide and carbon dioxide and oxygen takes place. So in the lungs they affect the alveoli. So as a result of infection, what will happen? The alveoli get filled with the fluid, leading to severe problem in respiration. So for proper diffusion of gases, it should be like the surface should be thin, but if it will filled with fluid, it can take place, diffusion can take place. So that's why problem in the respiration. The symptom of the pneumonia include fever will be there, chills, shiverings, headache, cough, etc. will be there. So in some severe cases, what happen? The lips and the fingernails may turn grey to bluish in color. Grayish to bluish color of the finger or nails, especially in case of children. A healthy person acquire how they are affected. The infection by inhaling the droplets or aerosol released by the infected person. If the droplets or aerosol released by the infected person, it is inhaled by the normal person, they will be affected. And use of some common utensil like glasses and utensil also can make a normal person infected. Now some other common bacterial diseases only for like you, at a glance you can say. So dysentery, this is caused by Shigella and Campylobacter. Various that is the various species are there. Then Yersinia pestis, that is caused Yersinia pestis. Plague is caused by Yersinia pestis. Diphtheria is caused by Mycobacterium diphtheria. Cholera is caused by Vibrio cholerae. Leprosy is caused by Mycobacterium leprosy. So these are some common names like gonorrhea, syphilis, etc. There. So here is small homework. So gonorrhea you must know, and syphilis. So these two you can find from the net, like which bacteria is responsible for this to disease gonorrhea and syphilis. Then come to common cold. So this is a viral disease, viral fever you must have heard. So rhinoviruses. So rhino means rhina, rhina. Rhina word is coming from nose. Okay, so any virus that infect the nose are called rhinoviruses. These are the most common human ailments. So these are not like deadly disease, but they most commonly it takes place. So the common cold, so they infect the nose and the respiratory passage but not lungs. So this is important, it will not affect the lungs, it affect the nose and the respiratory passage up to trachea, you can say, up to bronchi, bronchioles. Okay, then reoviruses, REO stand for R respiratory, E enteric, O and orphan. So these wander here and there like a orphan in between the respiratory and the enteric system, like respiratory system and our alimentary canal. So the common cold is characterized by these are the symptoms: nasal congestion like blockage of the nose, not able to breathe properly, discharge will be there, discharge of fluid, sore throat, like your throat will not be feel good, you will be not be able to speak loudly. Then hoarseness, these are the symptom, cough, headache, tiredness. So it usually lasts for 3 to 7 days, and after that it's cured automatically. If not getting cured, you might do some diagnosis test of some other diseases. Then some common flu I have kept here: fever, that is the flu and cold some symptoms, headache will be there, chills will be there, shivering, chills, cough, then sore throat, then rhinitis, inflammation of the nose or infection of nose, you can say. So droplet resulting from cough or sneeze of the infected person are directly inhaled or like indirectly through the pens, books, cups, door knobs, computer keyboard, mouse, etc. cause the infection in healthy person. So the droplets, these are the released that can be directly inhaled or they are through the like these agents like pens, books, etc. Then come to malaria. Malaria is one of the most deadly diseases. So plasmodium, this is the protozoan that is responsible for the disease. So there are different species of the plasmodium like vivax is there, p vivax, p malari, p falciparum. These are the different species of the species of the protozoa responsible for the different type of malaria. Of these, the malignant malaria, that is plasmodium falciparum, shortly called as PFR. So PFR, what it cause? It cause the inflammation of the, that is it affect the brain. Okay, so that's why it can be fatal. So plasmodium, the life cycle we'll discuss here briefly. So the plasmodium enter the body as sporozoite. It is entering the body as sporozoite. In many competitive exam they ask in the form of what the plasmodium entering the body. It is entering as sporozoite, that is the infectious form, through the bite of an infected female Anopheles mosquito. When an infected female Anopheles mosquito is biting a person, it is releasing the sporozoite into the blood. So the parasite initially multiply within the liver. So from blood they will release the liver, they will multiply in the liver and then attack the RBCs, resulting in the rupture. So when first they will attack the liver, then they will attack the RBC, resulting in the rupture. And the rupture of the RBC is associated with the release of hemozoin. Hemozoin is a toxic substance. Okay, hemozoin is a toxic substances which is responsible for the chill and the high fever recurring every 3 to 4 days. So hemozoin is the toxic substances which is responsible for the increase in body temperature and chill. Then life cycle, here you can see what is happening. The mosquito is biting. Okay, so the parasite, that is a sporozoite, reach the liver through the blood. In the blood they reproduce sexually in the liver cell, and what happened, the liver cell will burst and they will be released into blood. The parasite reproduce asexually in the RBCs, resulting in the, that is the bursting the RBC and other symptoms. So when the RBC will be burst, high fever will be there, then released parasite. So the released, that is the released parasites will affect the other RBC. So these are the release, they will affect the other RBC. So the sexual stages, that is the gametocyte, develop in the red blood cell. So the sexual stages will be involved in the, that is the, will be formed from the red blood cell, male and female gametocyte. So the gametocytes, when the female Anopheles mosquito is biting that person, the gametocyte enter into the mosquito, female Anopheles mosquito, and here the fertilization is taking place. The sexual reproduction is taking place in the mosquito. You must remember this. The sexual cycle, mosquito sexual cycle taking place in case of the human. This is the sexual cycle in mosquito. In human host, asexual cycle is taking place. Okay, asexual cycle is taking place. So when the fertilization is taking place, the mature infective stages, that is the sporozoites, escape from the intestine and migrate to the mosquito salivary gland. So now after the fertilization from the, that is the infectious form, the sporozoite escape and they enter into the mosquito salivary gland. They will be kept there, and whenever they are biting other person, they will be discharged to that blood. So here it is explained, the bite an infected person, the parasite enter the mosquito body, undergo further development, it multiply within them to sporozoite. These are stored in the salivary gland. The mosquito bite a human, the sporozoite are introduced into his or her body, thereby initiating the events mentioned above. So two hosts, human and the mosquito. Two hosts are there, human and the mosquito. The female Anopheles mosquito is the vector, that is the transmitting agent. So here some controversy appear, like primary and secondary host, which primary, which secondary. So according to medical science, the host in which the disease is caused, that is the primary host. So human is the primary host and the mosquito is the secondary host. But according to zoology, as we are student of zoology, the host in which the sexual cycle is taking place, sexual reproduction is taking place. So the primary host is the mosquito. So primary host, mosquito is the primary host and the human being are the secondary host. Okay, so we will follow this as we are student of zoology. So amoebiasis, we will see amoebic dysentery, Entamoeba histolytica is the protozoan parasite that is causing the disease, that is the amoebiasis or amoebic dysentery. So what are the symptoms? That is constipation, abdominal pain, cramps like excessive pain in the stomach area, stools with excess mucus, and blood clots. Blood clot will be there in the stool. So housefly acts as the mechanical carrier. So mechanical carrier is the housefly and serve to transmit the parasite from feces of the infected person to the food and other products. So housefly will go and sit in the stools of the infected person. They will again come and sit on the food particles or food product, thereby they will contaminate them. So drinking water and food contaminated by the fecal matter are the main sources of infection. So the main sources of infection are the drinking water, that is the contaminated drinking water, and food. Now come to ascariasis. So ascaris is caused by helminthic worm. Ascariasis is caused by the helminthic worm, name is the ascaris. So symptoms are there: internal bleeding, muscular pain, fever, anemia. These are the symptoms. Blockage of the intestinal passage. These are the symptoms. So the eggs of the parasite are excreted through the feces of the infected person. So the fecal matter of the infected person is released along with that eggs of the parasite, and which contaminate the soil, will contaminate the water and contaminate the plants. So healthy person acquire this infection through contaminated water, vegetables and fruits, etc. Now come to elephantiasis or filariasis. So Wuchereria bancropti and Wuchereria malai, these are the two filarial worm. They are causing the disease, the chronic inflammation of the of the organs in which they live for many years. So they will cause chronic inflammation like lifetime inflammation. It will be swelling. So the lymphatic vessel of the lower limbs, and disease is called elephantiasis. So elephantiasis, the filariasis, what happens? The lower limb will be inflamed, that is inflamed or swollen due to the presence of the what? The swollen limbs due to presence of the your it is the lymphatic vessel enlargement due to presence of Wuchereria bancropti and Wuchereria malai. So the genital organs might also be affected, resulting in the gross deformity. Deformity will be there. The pathogen are transmitted to a healthy person through the bite of female mosquito vector. So Aedes mosquito is there. Then many other mosquito are there. These are responsible for the transmission of the diseases. Then ringworm, the different genera. This is caused by fungi. The different genera of the fungi are Microsporum, Trichophyton, Epidermophyton. These are the responsible for the most common infectious diseases. Appearance of dry scaly lesions on the various organs like skin, nails, scalps, etc. are the major symptom of the disease. These lesions are accompanied by intense itching. Intense itching will be there. So heat and moisture will help to grow. That's why you have to keep our like the all the garments dry and clean. Then make them thrive in the skin folds like area in the groin. Groin is the area between the like the genital organ and the thigh. Then in between the toes, so the worms will grow better due to better heat and moisture. So ringworm are generally acquired from or soil by the using towels, clothes, or the even the combs of the infected person. So you have to use your own towels, clothes and combs. So some safety measures are there. That is the first of all personal hygiene and public hygiene. What are personal hygiene? You have to keep your body clean, consumption of clean drinking water, food, vegetables, fruits, all of these things. Then public hygiene, proper disposal of waste and excreta, periodic cleaning and disinfection of the water reservoirs like overhead tanks, pools, cesspools, tanks, observing standard practice of hygiene in public catering. All of these things you have to follow. Then in case of the airborne diseases, we have to we have to prevent the close contact, like you can see like coronavirus here. We have to prevent the close contact. Like malaria and filaria, what you have to do? You have to prevent the growth of insect vectors. Most important, to control eliminate the vector and their breeding places. We will keep some watch on them so that they can reproduce properly. Then they can be we have to avoid the stagnation of water in another residential areas, like the regular cleaning of the household cooler, use of mosquito nets, fishes like gambusia. This is important. Gambusia fishes, they will feed on the mosquito larva. Spraying of insecticide like DDT, etc. All these things will help us. Insecticide like DDT, all of these things will help us. Just a minute. Okay, then what you have to do, then such precautions will be more important, especially in the light of recent widespread incidents of the vector-borne disease like Aedes mosquito disease widespread. That's why dengue widespread, chikungunya. That's why you have to obey all these safety protocols properly. This is the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can give your comments and suggestion in the comment box. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.